أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونشكره ونستعين ونستهدي ونؤمن به إنه من يهد الله فلا مضل له نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. All praise and adoration belongs to Allah, the Lord of incomparableness of majesty. Beseech Allah to shower His blessing, His mercy on His noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu his household, his companion, his relative, and every Muslim that follows the footstep till the day of reckoning. I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to you all. Inshallah, without wasting our time, we shall be discussing a very meritorious topic, which is mafhum al-ibadah. Mafhum al-ibadah, it means understanding of forms of worship, comprehension about worship. So when you say mafhum, it means understanding. Understanding is more or less like comprehension. Anything you engage in, the first thing you need is knowledge, awareness of the do's and don'ts, of the principles, of the procedure, how to do it right, so that you don't need to do it wrong. That's what we call mafhum. Understanding, comprehension, as said by Rasulullah said that "Man yuridillahu bihi khairan yufaqihu fid-din." Whoever Allah is pleased with, Allah shall endow such person with comprehension and understanding of deen. That is why the scholar said that man amila amala bila ilm yufsid akthar mimma yufsid. Anyone that uphold or engage in any act of worship without knowledge of the do's and don'ts, such person will commit more of error than doing it right. That is why understanding the first thing that is so key to germane in our religion. And the scholar said that the resting or sleeping of a knowledgeable person, somebody who understands, is far better than thousands of worship of the ignorant one, the ignoramus. The second one is al-ibadah. Ibadah, what does this mean? It means worship, being servitude to our Creator. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created heaven and earth and everything within the two abode between heaven and earth, water, ocean, animals, land, beasts, and what have you, days and nights, sun, moon. Allah created them to serve human beings for the purpose of being servitude to human. That's what Allah said that وَسَخَرَ لَكُمْ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. He said, I have made subservient everything in heaven and earth. But He has made you and I, human being and the jinn, for His own worship. He made us to serve Him alone, to worship Him. That is why He said that وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I had never made man and the jinn save to worship me, to serve me alone. And when you say servitude or worshiping Allah, it's more or less like the relationship between the master and his servant. And master is the Lord, is the owner, is the one that governs you, and you happens to be the servant, the slave. You serve your master. So we are slave to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to serve him alone. He has said it all. He created the heaven and the earth for our purpose. He said, I provide for you everything you might think of, and those ones you don't even think of. Allah said, if you want to sit down and start counting my favor upon you, my benefit have endowed with you, you will never comprehend it, because they are numerous. So when you say ibadah, according to the scholar, I said ism jawami al-kalam is a comprehensive statement, terms that encapsulates both what you say and what you act, hidden in the manifest, like salawat, like fasting, like pilgrimage hajj, like all forms of worship, being good to your parent, being good to your neighbor, being good to your colleague, tighten the kinship bond, saying the truth, patience, handsgiving, all forms of worship, even to the extent of doing dhikr. Dhikr as mean incantation, uttering Allah's names. Subhanallah, la ilaha illallah, astaghfirullah. To the extent of what you are thinking within your heart, everything it's under worship, service to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that in Surah Al-Fatiha, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. It is you alone we worship, we serve, and unto you we seek for our sustenance. It's more or less like two sides of equilibrium, balance. Allah provides you with all your provision, and they want you to serve him, to worship him. So if you fail to worship him, you are angry. You are tempted to be a Gentiles and non-believers, an angry individual. So it is meant to serve Allah alone, to worship Allah alone. So everything you do, the purpose of your existence, why you are a human being, why you are not animal, why you are not inanimate, why you are not, non-living things, why Allah has made you a living thing, is for this purpose. Maqasidullah li'ibadihi. Allah's motives and intention of creating you. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ. The reason why he has created you. In another version, Allah said, Ya ayyuhan nas, a'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum walladhina min qablikum wa la taj'alu Allaha andada wa antum ta'lamun. He said, "Oh mankind, worship Allah who has created you and those before you. Don't associate or ascribe partner along with him before you. Know certainly that is wrong." So one of the key things you and I understand is that we serve Allah alone and nothing more. And the short of thing is tantamount to kufr. And this ibadah, as we said, they are one that we do openly, physical ibadah and metaphysical ibadah. And I say, وَأَسِرُ قَوْلَكُمْ مَا وِجْهَرُ بِهِ إِنَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ. If you disclose, if you display, or you hide, Allah is aware of everything. There are forms of ibadah that are manifest one. They are not hidden. Example, reading Quran is ibadah. Obedience to your parent is ibadah. Doing your duties towards your husband, your wife, your family, your kinship is ibadah. Giving your neighbor their due right is ibadah. Saying the truth is ibadah. Working to, be exonerated from poverty is ibadah. Lowering your gaze, not looking at the opposite sex is ibadah. Avoiding vulgar and vain talk is ibadah. Dressing according to Islamic right is ibadah. Protecting your privacy is ibadah. All forms of ibadah. These are physical ibadah. And people can see it. But there's some ibadah that are hidden. Example is to be truthful. Patience. Remembering Allah. These are hidden. Many hidden ibadah. So we have to strike balance between the two extremes. So ibadah has certain conditions and criteria. Number one condition, ibadah is amru min Allah. Ma'muran is commandment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah doesn't command it, it cannot be ibadah. If Allah does not sanction it for you, it does not endorse it, it is not ibadah. It is a bid'ah. It's kufr. It must be a direction from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you can see the Quran, Allah say, Aqimu salata li-dhikri. Establish prayer for my remembrance. Allah said, Kutiba alaykum siyam. Engaging in fasting is ibadah. وَقَدْ رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Be good to your parent is ibadah. Do not worship other person is ibadah. Allah said, Allah yamur bil adli. Justice is ibadah. Wal ihsan. You should be good to people. It's ibadah. Giving your kingship their right is ibadah. Because there's a commandment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if Allah doesn't command what you do, you should know that it's contravening and conflicting with Allah. It's Allah's injunction. Number two, ibadah is ma'muran dawam. It's a continuous exercise. It's a continuous religious duty. That's why I say, وَعَبُدُ رَبَّكَ حَتَّى يَأْتِيَكَ الْيَقِينُ. Worship your God, serve Him till the reality comes. And what's the reality? You do it from the day you are born to the day you go back to your grave. Ibadah is a continuous exercise. It's not what you do and go on holiday or go on relaxation. You do it and quit. No, it's you do it till you die, to eternity. That is why in Islam, Allah does not spare anybody when it comes to salah. You can do your salah when you're healthy, when you are sick. You can do your salah when you travel, you can do your salah. When you're in danger, you can do your salah. To the extent that when you're in war, on the battlefield, you do your salah, you continue doing it. On no condition you leave salah. That is why when you are standing, when you are sitting or you are bedding, wala junubihim. Even when you sleep, you can't stand. You sit. If you can't sit, you sleep on the ground. You must serve your God. Number 3 is that ibadah it attracts reward. Major. It attracts reward. It's not something you do and go scot-free. There is a reward to it. That's why Allah people support Allah today. You see, Hassan Abiodun. Allah said that Allah has separated heaven and earth to give those who uphold righteous deed the reward of righteousness. So there's a reward for everything. If you engage in the righteous deed to the level of atom, you have the reward. If you engage in the evils to the level of atom, you have the reward. So ibadah attracts reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And number 4 is that ibadah require what we call ikhlas, sincerity. It must be dedicated only to Allah. It must be directed only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and must be done according to the recommendation of Rasulullah. It's not based on your whims and caprices. It's not based on your selfish desire. It must be done according to the recommendation. If it's not in accordance with the recommendation, it's null and void. It's going to be rejected. So ibadah, forms of worship, is so huge, so genuine that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala singularly said that I created human beings and the genes only for ibadah's sake, for the sake of ibadah. So this ibadah, as we've understood the motives and the basis, then what nullifies our ibadah? What nullifies it? If we do ibadah and this ibadah is being vitiated, number 1, if your ibadah lacks ikhlas, it lacks sincerity, it's null and void. If your ibadah is not in line with the recommendation of Rasulullah, it's not ala kitabillah wa sunnat rasulih, it's not on the recommendation of the Allah's injunction and the Prophet's recommendation, it's null and void. For example, we know that Ramadan is observed during the month of Ramadan, and we have to sight the moon before we engage in Ramadan. And somebody claimed that he wants to have his own Ramadan in Sha'ban, or there's no need for moon sighting before he or she commences fasting. What does that mean? Or you want to pray, you're praying in the name of your sheikh, you're praying in the name of your ustad, not in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That can vitiate your ibadah. So these are basic things we need to understand about the ibadah. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this little sadaqah of worship and make us meet Him at the point of our need. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.